get ready to dive into the world of next level gaming with the highly anticipated PS5 Pro. We've heard rumors about what to expect and it's nothing short of exhilarating. From breathtaking graphics to lightning fast load times, this console is set to take your gaming experience to new heights. So buckle up and get ready to be blown away as we dive right into what this new PS5 variant has to offer. Rumors of a PS5 Pro persist, and while the powered up version of the current PS5 console has not been officially confirmed by Sony, one reliable insider has claimed, quote unquote, it's 100% in development, and the online whispers refuse to quiet down. A PS5 Pro would make even more sense as a form of stopgap between the PS5. We expect the PS5 Pro will follow the lead of its precursor, the PS4 Pro. Essentially, this was a more powerful version of the base PS4 console. It packed the same DualShock 4 controller and a library of games, but was capable of increased performance and targeted 4K resolution on select titles. It was a console designed for gamers who wanted that little bit of extra power to enjoy PlayStation gaming at its very best. In spring 2022, the PS5 Pro is tipped to launch sometime in 2023. This would line up with the 3-year gap we saw between the PS4, which released November 2013, and the PS4 Pro, which released November 2016. But more recent rumors have poured cold water on the idea that we are mere months away from the rumored console launching. Most recently, a leak of information pointed towards a September 2024 release window, as confirmed by Jeff Grubb on his podcast. Another prediction comes from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, who has repeatedly suggested that the PS5 Pro will launch in November 2024. Henderson's assertion that we will have to wait for Q4 of 2024 for the PS5 Pro has been backed by additional sources suggesting a late 2024 release date. Plus, another leaker has claimed the PS5 Pro and the Nintendo Switch 2 will share a launch window. When it comes to price, there's precious little out there to even give us an indication of how much we need to save up ahead of time. At release, in 2016, the PS4 Pro costed $399 USD. This is the same price the base PS4 had launched for 3 years earlier. Of course, 3 years into the PS4's lifecycle, the console had already received a price cut, which hasn't happened for the PS5. If the PS5 Pro was to follow the trend of the last generation, it would launch for $499 USD. However, don't be surprised if the PS5 Pro is pitched at an even higher cost, maybe even $599 USD. Sony proved that the PSVR 2 $549 USD launch price is not afraid to charge a premium price for new hardware, so you might want to start saving those pennies as soon as possible because the PS5 Pro could be one expensive console. Next up, the PS5 Pro Specs. Though the PS5 Pro will have to go some way to be larger than the largest console ever made, it seems likely that if the PS5 Pro is intended to use faster versions of the existing AMD Navi and Zen 2 micro architecture with an additional block on the silicone for DLSS styled image upscaling and possibly frame generation, we would expect the PS5 Pro to be somewhere between the PS5 and PS5 Slim in size. With the current generation PS5 and PS5 Slim hardware units leveraging the 6nm AMD Zen 2 microarchitecture with 8 cores and 16 threads and a clock speed at 3.5 GHz, we would be surprised if Sony would massively move away from what it already has with the existing PS5 CPU. Instead, it is rumored that Sony will once again be running for the same 6nm AMD Zen 2 microarchitecture in PS5 Pro, albeit at a higher clock speed. PS5 Pro GPU, however, Sony is seemingly keen to provide a substantial upgrade here over the existing AMD RDNA 2 GPU used in the current generation PS5 console. If the currently corroborated rumors are true, then the PS5 Pro GPU will feature a custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU running at around 2500 to 2800 MHz and boasting 60 compute units, versus the current AMD RDNA 2 GPU found in the PS5, which boasts just 36 compute units and a 2.23 GHz clock by comparison. Arguably, what will serve as the centerpiece of the PS5 Pro's improvements over the standard PS5 is the fact that specific hardware silicone is apparently being set aside to deal with image upscaling, already deployed in software fashion thanks to the checkerboard rendering approach that was taken with the PS4 Pro upgraded titles and some PS5 games. The thought here is that the upscaling work would be improved by the PS5 Pro, performing at a hardware level in a similar fashion to Nvidia's DLSS solution, resulting in better results, whereupon games that are upscaled to 4K resolution or beyond would look much more indistinguishable from their native counterparts. Alongside handling image and resolution upscaling at a hardware level, it is also extremely likely by many accounts that the PS5 Pro will boast a similar hardware block to exclusively deal with processing advanced ray trace visuals. This is crucial for a forward-facing system, thanks in no small part to the fact that the ray tracing is an extremely intensive rendering technique that taxes the GPU horrendously, and this is already evidenced by the use of ray tracing in PS5 games where visual trade-offs in resolution, visual fidelity, and sometimes frame rate are apparent. With PS5 Pro, ray tracing would be entirely accommodated by specific hardware within the console set aside just for that, meaning that the PS5 Pro GPU would then be free to worry about other stuff, improving texture resolution, level of detail drawing, improving frame rates, and all of that other lovely stuff. There are also additional dimensions to this too. With the PS5, there's often a trade-off in the quality of ray trace global illumination and reflections, whereas with the PS5 Pro, if the mooted dedicated hardware is beefy enough to handle the much more advanced path tracing rendering pipeline, PS5 Pro owners could potentially enjoy a high-end PC level ray tracing in a way that just hasn't been possible. The PS5 Pro will almost certainly leverage the same optical disk drive that features in the current gen PS5 console, though it is also equally possible that much like the current gen PS5, a digital only variant of the PS5 Pro may also appear. The standard PS5 console kicks out 10.28 teraflops, and given that the PS5 Pro is apparently set to have a focus on running smarter and more efficient, with a key part of this approach being the dedicated hardware block for image upscaling, rather than just upping the base hardware, we can expect to see the PS5 Pro claw back some crucial performance that isn't reflected in its teraflop count. As such, while the PS5 Pro will certainly put out more teraflops than the standard PS5, it won't be too much more, and certainly not as a big leap as the PS5 was from the PS4 Pro. Based on the current thinking, the PS5 Pro is set to boast 16GB of GDDR6 RAM, the same which shipped with the current generation PS5 console. However, what has been rumored is that the RAM in the PS5 Pro will be much faster, clocking in at a blistering 18,000 MTS. With uptick in clock speeds and compute units, coupled with the faster RAM and new GPU upscaling blocks for resolution and ray tracing, I'd expect a more efficient version of the same liquid metal cooling arrangement used in the standard PS5. With the still very fast internal SSD drive of the PS5 coming up to 4 years old, it wouldn't be terribly surprising to see Sony provide gamers with a faster internal storage solution for the PS5 Pro, though at this point much of the corroborated information regarding the PS5 Pro specs have been centered around other aspects of the architecture, so time will tell. With the PS5 already supporting Wi-Fi 6 for a number of years, it makes sense that for PS5 Pro, Sony would want to include the newly minted Wi-Fi 7 standard, which provides greatly improved wireless connectivity and speeds. Even with that, however, don't expect your trusty old Ethernet port to go anywhere in the new console, as many folks still use wired connections instead of wireless. Now with the PS5 Pro voltage and power consumption, this is where things will get a little trickier. With all of those advances in the silicone, it's almost certain that the PS5 Pro will consume a chunk more power than the current PS5 console. As to exactly how much, that will depend on precisely what is going on under the hood, and hopefully Sony won't be making us wait too much longer for a full set of confirmed PS5 Pro specifications. The PS5 Pro is highly likely to be marketed towards players who want the highest possible resolution with the most stable frame rates and wouldn't be designed to replace the PS5 standard hardware. The two could coexist as the PS4 and PS4 Pro did for several years. And as a lover of cutting-edge gaming, the various PS5 Pro rumors floating around the internet has definitely gotten my attention. So players, that was everything you should expect with the new PS5 Pro. Now guys, let me know if you guys would get the PS5 Pro and what features would you love to see in this exciting new powerful version of the original PS5. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. So players, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.